Okay, what we're going to talk about is how to shop for KPM Porcelain. KPM Porcelain, as you can see, is an absolutely superb quality of porcelain, very unusual in that it is just so finely done. Part of the reason is because KPM has been around for at least a couple hundred years. Actually, it was started in association with Meissen in the early 1700s. And as time went along, the company KPM kind of split, morphed into one or the other. There were two, three, in fact, there's more than that, maybe 5 different KPMs that were all associated, mostly because Frederick the Great owned all of them. And I believe he owned Meissen too, Meissen factory proper. Of course, Meissen is also the name of a city in Germany that there were several different porcelain factories there. So it's confusing, but the bottom line is that there is the very, very finest in both Meissen and KPM. There's just the very finest porcelain anywhere, and I say that, and possibly I may be wrong. There may be some others, Sèvres or Limoges, or a few others that are right there too. But when you're shopping for it or so on, look for that really, really exquisite detail. Right, that's where they really shine, is their detail. The quality of the porcelain is obvious, manifests itself, and this has this KPM mark on it, okay, which says Royal Porcelain, Bavaria, KPM, Germany, Handerbelt. This is also KPM, and it too has exactly the same mark on it. But that's because these two pieces are fairly modern. They're fairly recent. Now it's interesting that many of the companies that were very, very sought after and high quality in the olden days kind of didn't maintain that standard or so. KPM did. So that's something you can rely on. You don't have to worry about what year it was as to what its quality would be. This is also KPM. This is older, and it has a different mark. And this is Germany, and it actually has a crossed swords mark, which would indicate Meissen, and it has an S over a cross swords mark, which indicates from 1925 to the present. Could be the date on this, although clearly it's older than the present. So we're probably talking about somewhere between 1925 and 1945, because the factories in Germany were all bombed out by 1945. There wasn't anything left standing. Right, almost every city in Germany was bombed flat. So even though Meissen later on started up again in 1970, KPM was struggling, and I'm not sure when they started back up again, but they did start back up again, and they resumed to making this exquisite porcelain. So that is the story. These are figurines that were done in that mid-century point of time. And if you're shopping for Meissen, if you're shopping for KPM, be just interested and look for the right marks, and be aware that there are fakes out there. So you do want to educate yourself as to what some of the fake marks are, and you can do that by going to the internet, and there is a couple of companies that clearly outline what are the most commonly used fake marks for KPM anywhere. So But most of the time you can just look at the piece and see that it is absolute quality, and that pretty much takes care of itself. After all, if you were making a fake, would you want to make a fake of this, which would take you about 6 weeks to paint? So that's kind of an indication. So anyway, thank you, and I hope that's informative. Bye-bye.